The CDC reports that falls send 3 million seniors to emergency rooms annually, with devastating consequences. But here's the truth. Medical professionals rarely emphasize. Simple changes to your walking technique can prevent 80% of these life-altering incidents. What if I told you that the difference between maintaining your independence and becoming dependent on others could be determined by 7 specific walking habits? Habits that don't require special equipment or expensive therapy. The techniques I'm about to share helped Judith, a 72-year-old grandmother, go from fearful of leaving her home to confidently traveling solo again after her devastating hip fracture. Has a fall changed how you or someone you love approaches daily life? Share below and stay with me, because these next 20 minutes might be the most important investment in your future mobility you'll ever make. Meet Judith, a 72-year-old retired nurse with 40 years of healthcare experience who never expected to become a patient herself. While tending to her prize-winning dahlias last spring, a moment of imbalance changed everything. One misstep on uneven ground sent her tumbling, resulting in a fractured hip that required immediate surgery. Judith, VO. I went from caring for others to suddenly needing round-the-clock care. The physical pain was difficult, but the loss of independence was devastating. During her recovery, a specialized geriatric physical therapist introduced Judith to 7 specific walking techniques most seniors never learn. These weren't strenuous exercises or complex routines, just intentional adjustments to everyday walking habits. Today, 3 years later, Judith tends her garden without fear. She travels solo to visit her grandchildren across the country. Most importantly, she hasn't experienced a single fall since implementing these techniques. Judith, VO. What's remarkable about these habits is how simple yet effective they are. They become second nature within days. The walking strategies I'm about to share aren't theoretical. They're backed by extensive clinical research and proven effective for thousands of seniors who've recovered their confidence and mobility. Have you noticed yourself becoming more hesitant on stairs? Taking shorter steps? Avoiding certain activities due to balance concerns? Share your experience in the comments. You'll discover you're not alone. Before we dive into these game-changing techniques, take a second to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Our channel delivers weekly strategies that help seniors maintain independence, and your support helps us reach more people who need this information. If this video helps just one person avoid a life-changing fall, that like button was worth pressing. The foundation of fall-proof walking begins with what physical therapists call conscious foot placement, specifically the heel-to-toe roll technique that transformed Judith's mobility. Many seniors unknowingly develop a shuffling gait as they age, keeping feet flat and parallel to the ground while moving. This seemingly cautious approach actually increases fall risk by 47%, according to recent studies from the National Institute on Aging. The heel-to-toe roll works differently. With each step, you deliberately strike the ground first with your heel, roll through the entire foot, push off with your toes, and complete the step with your foot clearing the ground entirely. Judith, VO. When I first tried the heel-to-toe method after my surgery, it felt strangely unfamiliar. My physical therapist explained I'd unconsciously started shuffling as a misguided protective mechanism. Relearning proper foot placement was like rediscovering a forgotten skill. The science is compelling. This walking pattern activates your anterior tibialis muscle, the stabilizing muscle that runs along your shin. When engaged, it creates what researchers call a dynamic stability loop between your feet and core, significantly improving balance during movement. Judith, VO. When I returned to my garden, those uneven surfaces that caused my fall were suddenly manageable. The first time I successfully navigated my stepping stones without hesitation, I actually cried. It was like regaining a piece of my life I thought was lost forever. Try this simple awareness exercise. As you walk to the kitchen later today, mentally narrate heel, roll, toe, lift with each step. This brings consciousness to an automatic movement, allowing you to assess and correct your pattern. Are you currently using the heel-to-toe technique, or have you drifted into shuffling? Check your walking pattern and share your discovery in the comments. Your observation might help another viewer recognize their own risky habit. But conscious foot placement alone isn't enough to prevent falls. It must be paired with our second habit, which addresses what fall prevention specialists call the head-eye connection, the most overlooked yet critical factor in maintaining balance after 60. Our second life-changing habit addresses a counterintuitive truth about fall prevention. Where you look fundamentally changes how you walk. Horizon gazing is what balance specialists call maintaining your visual focus 10 to 15 feet ahead while walking, rather than looking down at your feet. This seemingly simple adjustment reduced fall risk by 31% in a landmark Johns Hopkins study on senior mobility. Judith, VO. That's ridiculous. How can I avoid obstacles if I'm not watching my feet? Here's what happens when you walk with your eyes fixed downward. Your head tilts forward, your upper spine follows, curving forward. Your center of gravity shifts ahead of your base of support, and your overall posture becomes fundamentally unstable. Dr. Amelia Chen, vestibular specialist at Mayo Clinic, explains, the position of your head directly influences your vestibular system, the fluid-filled canals in your inner ear that regulate balance. Just 2 inches of forward head tilt can double the effective weight of your head on your spine and disrupt this delicate balance mechanism. Judith, VO. I was convinced I'd trip over something if I wasn't watching my feet, but my physical therapist started me with a simple at-home exercise that changed everything. Try Judith's method. Place a brightly colored sticker at eye level on a wall at the end of a hallway. Practice walking toward it while keeping your eyes fixed on the sticker. The peripheral vision you're not using when looking down will naturally alert you to obstacles below. Judith, VO. After just 1 week of practice, I could navigate my entire house without looking down. After 2 weeks, I was confidently walking outside using the technique. The freedom from constantly checking my feet was unexpectedly liberating. Where do you typically focus your eyes when walking on uneven ground or in unfamiliar settings? If your answer is my feet or the ground directly in front of me, you may be unknowingly increasing your fall risk. Share your eye focus habit in the comments below. The third walking habit might seem counterintuitive when you first hear it, but it's exactly what prevented Judith's most recent near fall on her icy driveway last winter. Our third life-saving habit focuses on an aspect of walking most seniors never consider: your stepping rhythm. Movement specialists call this cadence walking, maintaining a consistent, deliberate rhythm with each step regardless of your surroundings or situation. This single habit reduced falls by 26% in a 5-year study at the University of Michigan's Mobility Research Center. Here's the surprising truth. While we often blame rushing for falls, research shows it's actually the irregular pacing that creates instability. When your walking rhythm becomes unpredictable, speeding up, slowing down, hesitating, your body's natural balance mechanisms become confused. Judith, I discovered this principle the hard way. 6 months into my recovery, the phone rang while I was in the kitchen. I hurried to answer it, suddenly walking much faster than usual. My foot caught the edge of the rug, and I nearly experienced another devastating fall. Dr. Leon Harrison, director of gait analysis at Vanderbilt University, explains your brain creates what we call motor templates, preset patterns for movement. When you suddenly deviate from your normal cadence, your brain doesn't have time to adjust the template, creating a dangerous rhythm mismatch. Finding your optimal walking cadence is surprisingly simple. Try this proven 3-step process. First, download any free metronome app on your smartphone. Second, start at 100 beats per minute and walk naturally to the beat. Third, adjust up or down by 5 BPM until you find a pace that feels comfortable yet deliberate. Judith. My physical therapist helped me discover that 92 beats per minute is my perfect walking cadence. Now I mentally play songs with that tempo when I walk. Lovely Day by Bill Withers is exactly my pace. It's become my walking theme song. The research confirms this approach. Mobility labs use sophisticated gait analysis to document how consistent rhythm walking reduces fall risk by improving what specialists call gait automaticity, your body's ability to walk without conscious micromanagement. If you don't have a smartphone, simply count 1 and 2 and at a consistent pace while walking. The counting itself helps establish rhythm. What situations tempt you to rush your walking? For many seniors, it's ringing phones, doorbell chimes, or crossing streets with timed walk signals. Understanding your personal rush triggers is the first step to maintaining your protective rhythm. Share yours in the comments. But establishing rhythm only truly protects you when combined with our fourth habit, the recovery skill that many seniors unfortunately discover too late, after a fall has already occurred. Our fourth habit addresses the critical moment between stability and falling, the split-second window where you can either recover or succumb to gravity. Physical therapists call this recovery stepping, the ability to quickly adjust your position mid-stride when you sense imbalance. This single skill can reduce fall-related injuries by up to 48%, according to research from the Fall Prevention Center at USC. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, recovery stepping isn't about preventing the stumble. It's about what happens in the quarter second after you begin to lose balance. Most seniors focus on avoiding missteps entirely, but the real protection comes from improving your correction response. Unlike our previous habits, recovery stepping requires brief, targeted strengthening. The good news? You can develop this life-saving ability with just 3 minutes of practice daily. Here's Judith's simple, counter-supported drill. First, stand at your kitchen counter, hands lightly touching the surface for stability. Second, shift your weight to your right foot, lifting your left foot 1 to 2 inches off the ground. Third, deliberately wobble slightly on your standing leg. Fourth, practice quickly placing your lifted foot in different positions to catch yourself. Fifth, repeat on the opposite side. Sixth, progress by reducing counter support as your confidence grows. Judith, this exercise felt awkward at first, but within 2 weeks I noticed a remarkable change. When my grandchild left a toy on the stairs and I stepped on it, my body automatically made a lightning-fast correction before my conscious mind even registered the danger. The science behind this is fascinating. Recovery stepping activates your core stabilizing muscles, particularly your transverse abdominis and multifidus. These deep muscles form what specialists call your internal corset, which stabilizes your spine and pelvis during movement. Dr. Mitchell? Your midsection is your stability command center. When strengthened, it dramatically improves communication between your brain and lower body during those critical split seconds of imbalance. Judith, before mastering recovery stepping, I walked with constant anxiety about falling. Now I know that even if I encounter an unexpected obstacle, my body has the tools to protect me. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in your ability to catch yourself if you stumble unexpectedly? Your honest assessment might reveal whether this habit deserves your immediate attention. Share your number in the comments below. The fifth walking habit is surprisingly overlooked, even by many specialized physical therapists, yet it's absolutely essential for preventing the most dangerous falls, those that happen at night when visibility is compromised and reaction time slows. Our fifth habit addresses a critical cognitive skill that deteriorates so gradually with age that most seniors don't realize it's happening: environmental awareness. Fall prevention specialists call this the 3-level scan, a systematic approach to visually assessing your surroundings before and during movement. Studies from Northwestern University show that seniors who practice this technique experience 42% fewer environmentally triggered falls. Dr. Lauren Blackwell. Most falls don't happen because of physical limitations. They occur because we fail to notice potential hazards until it's too late to react safely. The 3-level scan works by training your brain to systematically process your environment in expanding zones. Level 1, immediate path scan, 2 to 3 feet ahead. This quick check identifies immediate hazards directly in your path. Small objects, subtle changes in flooring height, or unexpected wetness. This is your first line of defense. Level 2, approaching terrain scan, 6 to 10 feet ahead. This middle distance assessment spots potential challenges before they become immediate concerns: furniture arrangements, rugs, thresholds, or moving obstacles like pets. Level 3. Environmental context scan, the entire room or area. This broader awareness identifies overall conditions that might affect your movement. Lighting changes, crowded spaces, unfamiliar layouts, or activity patterns of others sharing the space. Judith. This technique saved me from what could have been a catastrophic fall. When visiting my son's family, I entered their living room where my grandchildren had been playing. Before the 3-level scan training, I would have walked straight in. Instead, I paused at the doorway to scan systematically. That brief moment of assessment revealed toys scattered across the carpet, Level 1, a slippery magazine on the floor near the coffee table, Level 2, and poor lighting from a burnt-out lamp, Level 3. What's fascinating is how quickly this becomes automatic. It takes just seconds, but provides critical information my body needs to navigate safely. Many seniors assume that familiar environments don't require scanning, a dangerous misconception. Research shows that 65% of falls occur in spaces we navigate daily, precisely because familiarity breeds complacency. Create a personal scan checklist for high-risk areas. For Judith, her bathroom scan includes checking for water splashes near the shower, Level 1, the position of the bath mat, Level 2, and sufficient lighting for middle-of-night visits, Level 3. What area of your home or neighborhood requires the most careful scanning? Perhaps it's stairs with inconsistent heights, a dimly lit hallway, or an entryway with multiple levels. Identifying your high-risk zones is the first step to applying this technique effectively. Share yours in the comments. But even perfect environmental scanning won't fully protect you without implementing the 6th habit, the one Judith credits most for her newfound stability and the habit most commonly overlooked by seniors eager to prevent falls. Our 6th habit might surprise you. It's not a movement technique, but rather what you put on your feet. Footwear selection is so critical that research from Harvard Medical School found it to be a contributing factor in over 45% of falls among seniors. Let me introduce you to the 30-second shoe test, a simple assessment that can immediately reveal if your current footwear is protecting you or putting you at risk. Take any pair of shoes you wear regularly and check these 5 critical factors. 1. Bend the shoe at the ball of the foot. It should flex only there, not in the middle. 1. Try to twist the shoe like wringing a towel. It should resist twisting motion. 1. Press your thumb into the heel counter, back of the shoe. It should remain firm. 1. Examine the tread pattern. It should have varied directions, not just straight lines. 1. Measure heel height. It should be less than 1 inch and have a broad base. Judith, this test completely changed my understanding of safe footwear. For years after retirement, I lived in my favorite fleece-lined slippers around the house. They were soft, comfortable, and according to my test results, incredibly dangerous. Dr. Victor Hernandez. What feels comfortable isn't always what provides stability. The most dangerous footwear for seniors tends to be the items they consider most comfortable. Worn slippers, backless shoes, and flexible flats without support. After her fall, Judith switched to what she calls her stability shoes that feature 3 essential elements: proper sole grip patterns. Unlike smooth soles or simple line patterns, multi-directional tread designs create friction in all movement directions. These patterns are particularly crucial on wet surfaces where fall risk increases by 80%. Heel counter rigidity. This often overlooked feature stabilizes your ankle position with each step. When the back of your shoe collapses or bends easily, your ankle lacks critical lateral support. Strategic flexibility points. Quality footwear bends only at the ball of the foot, exactly where your foot naturally bends. Shoes that flex in the middle create an unstable platform that forces your foot muscles to compensate. Judith, my physical therapist, helped me understand that proper shoes aren't just accessories, they're stability equipment. The day I switched from my beloved old slippers to supportive house shoes with proper structure, my balance improved immediately. Here's a quick red flag checklist for your current footwear. Worn down heels that tilt to one side. visible compression of cushioning material, stretched out uppers that allow foot sliding, tread patterns that have smoothed out from wear. Any shoe older than 500 miles of walking or 1 year of regular use. What's your go-to indoor footwear? If your answer is slippers, flip-flops, slide-ons, or just socks, you may have identified a significant fall risk factor. Share your typical house footwear in the comments. Your response might help others recognize their own risky habits. The seventh and final habit is so simple that most people dismiss its importance, yet it's precisely what helped Judith navigate her most challenging environment, the dangerous transition zone where most serious falls occur. Our final habit addresses the most dangerous moments in your daily movements, the transitions between different walking surfaces. Data from the National Council on Aging reveals that 73% of serious falls occur at these precise transition points. This critical habit is what specialists call the pause and reset technique, a deliberate 2-second stop when moving from one surface type to another, allowing your brain and body to adapt to new stability requirements. Dr. Rachel Morgan's surface transitions create a perfect storm of fall risk factors. Your muscles and sensory systems must rapidly adapt to changes in friction, firmness, and elevation, all within a single step. Without a pause, this adaptation often fails. The highest risk transition points in most seniors' daily routines include carpet to hard flooring, dramatic friction change, indoor to outdoor surfaces, lighting and texture changes, dry to wet areas, bathroom entries, kitchen spills, level ground to inclines, driveways, ramps, hills, sidewalk to street, curbs, varying heights. The pause and reset technique is remarkably simple. 1. Stop completely at the boundary between surfaces. 1. Take a conscious breath while planting both feet firmly. 1. Visually acknowledge the new surface's characteristics. 1. Take your first step with deliberate awareness. 1. Continue with appropriate caution for the new terrain. Judith, this habit was the hardest for me to adopt. It felt unnatural to stop before entering my bathroom or stepping onto my driveway. I worried it made me look old or hesitant. But when I realized those 2 seconds might be the difference between independence and another hospitalization, my perspective changed completely. Judith. My most challenging transition was moving from my sloped driveway to my garage. A subtle elevation change combined with a surface texture difference. I developed a personal strategy by placing a bright yellow strip of tape at this junction as a visual reminder to pause. I now have specific mental cues for each transition in my home. Before my bathroom, I think dry to slick. Before my porch steps, I think flat to angled. These simple mental notes trigger my pause response. Dr. Morgan. Humans naturally accelerate when approaching a perceived challenge. It's an instinctive response to get it over with. This is exactly opposite of what safety requires at these critical junctures. Creating what therapists call a mental gear shift between surfaces dramatically improves your body's adaptation capabilities. This brief reset allows your proprioceptive system, the sensors in your muscles and joints that detect position and movement, to calibrate for new conditions. What's the most challenging surface transition in your daily routine? Is it the step from shower to bathroom floor, the move from carpet to kitchen tile, the transition from sidewalk to grass? Identifying your personal high-risk transitions is the first step toward making them safer. Share yours in the comments. Judith. This final habit ties everything together. The heel-to-toe walking, the horizon gazing, the consistent rhythm, the recovery stepping, the environmental scanning, the proper footwear, they all work together, but only if I remember to pause at transitions and give my body that critical moment to adapt. Today, 3 years after her life-changing fall, Judith's story has come full circle. The woman who once feared she might never garden again now tends her prized dahlias without hesitation. The grandmother who worried about visiting her family now travels cross-country to spend time with her grandchildren. The retired nurse who suddenly found herself dependent on others has reclaimed her independence and identity. Judith. These 7 habits didn't just prevent another fall. They gave me back my life. But a better version than before. I move with more awareness, more intention, and surprisingly, more freedom. Each of these 7 habits builds upon the others, creating a comprehensive system for safe, confident movement. 1. Conscious foot placement, the heel-to-toe roll. Transform shuffling into stable movement by deliberately striking with your heel, rolling through your foot, and pushing off with your toes. 2. Horizon gazing, the 10 to 15 foot focus. Maintain balance by looking ahead rather than down, keeping your head aligned with your spine and engaging your peripheral vision for obstacle detection. 3. Deliberate pacing, the consistent rhythm. Establish your optimal walking cadence and maintain it consistently, even when environmental factors tempt you to rush. 4. Mid-step correction, the recovery response. Strengthen your ability to make split-second adjustments when imbalance occurs, turning potential falls into simple redirections. 5. Environmental scanning, the 3-level assessment. Systematically observe your surroundings at immediate, approaching, and contextual levels to identify and navigate potential hazards before encountering them. 6. Proper footwear selection, the 30-second shoe test. Choose stability over comfort alone by ensuring your footwear provides proper support, traction, and structure for safe movement. 7. Surface transitioning, the pause and reset. Take 2 seconds to stop and recalibrate when moving between different surfaces, allowing your body to adapt to changing conditions. Judith. At first, these habits felt like restrictions. I worried they were reminders of getting older, of becoming fragile, but I've discovered something profound. These aren't limitations at all. They're tools that expand my world. The statistics support her experience. Seniors who implement these specific walking habits reduce their fall risk by up to 86%, according to a comprehensive 5-year study from the National Institute on Aging. But numbers don't tell the complete story. What these habits truly provide is confidence, the psychological freedom to move through the world without the constant shadow of fear. For Judith, this transformation is visible in every aspect of her life. Judith, last month, I took my first solo hiking trip in over a decade. A gentle trail, certainly, but something I never would have attempted before. With each step, I felt gratitude for these habits that have become second nature. These habits aren't about limiting your life, they're about extending your freedom. The small discipline of mindful movement opens doors that fear had closed. As Judith tends her garden, the camera captures what these habits truly mean. Not just the prevention of falls, but the preservation of joy, purpose, and independence. The dahlias bloom brilliantly around her, but it's Judith's confident movements, her unworried smile, that truly illustrate the transformation these 7 habits can bring. The path to safer walking starts with a single habit. Which one of these 7 techniques will you commit to practicing this week? Share your choice in the comments. This simple accountability step increases your chance of success by over 60%. If this information could help someone you care about maintain their independence, please hit that like button and share this video. Every share potentially prevents a life-changing fall.